So it was never a question that it was his intention to place digital figures in certain spots to obscure something that would give him a harsher rating.
Well, the thing is, nobody knows, and we obviously did talk about this a lot. And the people we were working with were the people who had obviously been working and living with Mr. Kubrick for the whole production. And even though we didn't actually meet Christiane, his wife, we know that she was part of these conversations and was aware of the issues and so on. So you had Warner Brothers, you had Christiane Kubrick, you had Jan Harlan, and all these people very, very, very acutely aware of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of what his actual intention was, nobody quite seemed to know. And there was just a guess that maybe, given that we were doing digital scanning tests, he had some plan. The other thing that made people think that perhaps he might have intended to do some CGI people in the orgy was that the records of the lighting setups of that location were extremely detailed, and perhaps more detailed than anywhere else in the film. And if you're planning on doing CGI in a scene, one of the things you always have to do is make a lot of notes and plans and sketches and measurements of the lighting setup of the scene, so you can then replicate it on your digital characters.
Mm-hmm.
So they were looking at the records he'd taken, and there was a little bit of speculation as to whether he was going to use this scene as a little test bed for some of the things he might want to play with on AI.
Right.
And possibly on Warner Brothers dollar, and to deliver this scene that was no way that would get to an R rating, have to do the CGI people and have some fun, in the process himself. So that was a thought, but speculation.
Well, and I've seen both versions that are available to us, and it's so subtle and so kind of minimal. I don't think it changes form very much at all, and it certainly doesn't change content in any kind of meaningful way. So, I never really got the controversy surrounding it. I feel like it was built up more than...
Yeah, it was a timing thing, I think, in many ways, wasn't it? It was his last film, and people hate the idea of censorship or the studio interfering or whatever. I think it was just a very awkward situation for everyone, and it was they didn't want to have to cut any shots.
Right.
So it seemed like the path of least damage to the artistic vision, and I think they knew that down the line the untweaked version would probably become the definitive version that anyone would see in 10 years' time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and the version that's released on film in the outside of the US was the untweaked one, I believe. But obviously everyone's now going to be looking at it on DVD and Blu-ray forevermore. So
to your knowledge, nothing was cut out of the film.
Yeah, I think they were pretty firm on that. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a conversation in the cutting room.
Okay, great. I'm glad I have that settled.